Okay, class, now we've gotten to the part where we're going to make our bodices. Okay, so you already have them. You just need to print them out. There's 3 for front and 3 for back. Okay, so what you're going to do is you have to put them together first before you cut them out. So what you're going to do here is you're going to place this. See the triangle right here? You're gonna place a triangle with the triangle. Now the difference between the front and back, because it's not saying, is that the front always has a lower neckline than the back, as you'll see, and has usually a wider dart in the front. So this is the front bodice one for women's. Okay, so once you get the triangle and the lines underneath that you can see after you print it out, and you can just print this out in your regular copier. Okay, so just tape it up there. Then your third piece here, you can put it either on top or underneath. So you want to line up the actual dart here. It's probably going to be better this way if I do this. You'll see it better here, and then the line that's going down the center front here. So you have this line connecting and this line and down here at the bottom. So now tape that up real good, because you're going to be using this as your basic sloper, size 8 Missy. So if you do go into the college and you do want to use the forms or use sewing machines or tables or anything, you can do it by going on Book It, right? And there's certain days and times. And we have 2 rooms, A309 and C610, okay? Which I put on your announcements there. And maybe even just go here and in the back here, just tape it up a little bit so it stays together, okay? So this is the front. So I do want you to write front, okay? And excuse me a second, I just want to get a couple things I forgot. So go ahead, this is your, what we call the grain line, okay? So you want to add like little arrows here, and then because you cut 2 on the front, you're gonna say front, cut 2, because you need 1 for one side and 1 for the other. Then put down size 8 so that you know, and you can use the Alvanon 8 mannequin that's in the school. And it's in every room, but C610 has a lot of them. So go to C610, okay? Now you have this. Now what you want to do is when you cut it out, you have to be really precise and exact, okay? So you definitely have to go right on the line. Don't go inside the line or outside the line. Cut exactly on it, because this is a proportioned sloper. And you don't want jiggy-jaggy sides or anything, okay? Because this, you're going to make your collars, your plackets, everything, and your sleeve. We're going to make the sleeve next. I'll show you how to do that. So you need this cut out really well and exact, okay? And this is the line on the outside here, because don't forget, everything on the paper has been put on the inside a little bit, so you do have to cut around the whole entire thing. Okay. It's pretty cool how we were able to give you slopers that you can just tape together and use. What we did was we uploaded our basic sloper that we had made originally. And what we did was we had to use Gerber AccuMark, and we had to digitize it first. Digitizing means that you have to go from point to point to point so that it's actually making the pattern, it's copying the pattern. And you would copy the dart in it also. And then once the pattern is copied, then it's uploaded into the computer, and there it's actually, you know, made into this size. But because this size is bigger than an 8 by, you know, 8 by 10 paper, we had 8 by 11, we had to cut them in different, you know, areas in order to get it so that, you know, we were able to make an exact size 8 sloper. So once you do this, if you go to school and use the size 8, you're going to find out that this fits on the size 8 perfectly. Okay. Now we're going to do the same with the back. Okay. And again, as I was saying, the back has the higher neckline in the back. And as you can see here, it has a smaller dart here. Okay. And so that's how you know it's the back. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to place the triangle over the triangle. You can see through it. Just making sure that the lines all line up exactly here and here. Actually, I'm going to do this one vice versa because the main lines are all complete. So I just want to make sure so I can see it better to line up. Okay. So same thing. Just gonna go here, tape it on, really secure, because this is what you're going to be using a lot, this body right here, to do everything. Okay. And then the same with the top part. I'm going to go ahead and line up the triangle here. So it fits exactly right here. So again, you want the lines to be exact. I'm placing it there, and then now it just comes up a little bit here. Okay, it has to be exact, because even if you do it 1/8 of an inch off, it's not going to fit right. Okay, so this you have to have make sure it's exact and perfect when you tape it on and everything. Okay, and then again, we're going to tape it all going across like this before we cut it out. Now also, so that you know, everything we make with a sloper, it does not have any seams, a seam allowance, okay? So seam allowance is for sewing, okay? So you have to add it to this, but you never add it to the basic sloper, because you'll see as we go on, we make some styles out of it, everything. If you put the seam allowance in and you start cutting it up, slashing, spreading, you're going to forget where the seam allowances were and everything. And so if you make them all without seam allowance, and then when you're ready to finalize the pattern of the way you want it, so let's say you have a yoke and, you know, some shirring and different things like that on this, then you add the seam allowances to all the pieces separate, okay? After you've cut them apart and they're separate pieces. Then you add it on then. So none of these slopers and the sleeve that we're gonna make will have seam allowance, okay? So the back, all right? So you have the back here, all right? So the same thing for the back. We are gonna just put a little arrow here. This is a grain line, meaning that the grain of the fabric goes like this. If you're not sure about that and you're buying fabrics or anything, ask the salesperson which way is the grain line. It's actually salvage to salvage, which I've shown you in the videos. You know, it's perpendicular to the salvage, okay? Some pieces aren't. You know, yokes, usually they twist it around so that it's a different grain line. But for your bodies, it's always going up and down, and it's up and down the sleeve as well. Now, this one is different because this is the back. You're going to put fold, okay? You're going to put fold right here. So this is going to go on the fold line. So this will never have seam allowance because, you know, like the back of a shirt or whatever doesn't have a seam going down it. So you actually fold the fabric and you put this fold line right along the edge of the fabric that you would be using here. And then you're just going to cut this here, 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 and you're not going to cut anything on the back because you double the fabric and it becomes one piece. Okay, so then on this, cut one, because you're only going to cut one because it's on the fold, back, and size 8. Okay, That way you always know, because you might be making new slopers and different things like that in the future. You know, different sizes. You want to make sure that you always know this one is size 8. All right. Okay, that's it for the cutting out. So I'm going to be, cutting this all out and having it prepared for when we make the sleeves in the next video. Okay.